to order the Board of Adjustments. Roll call.
Sorry, I was writing. Bob Donovan,
Here.
Jean Jokers,
Here.
Joan Dunzy,
Here.
Bernie Nager.
Here.
Chairman, we have a quorum.
Okay, approval of November 19, 2013 agenda.
I'll make a motion to
I have
approve
a
the
motion by
agenda.
Joan Dunzy. Do I have a second? I have a second by Bob. All in favor?
Aye.
Approval of the June 12, 2013 meeting minutes. There was a little mishap. We only got part of it. Now we have all of it. So do I have a motion to approve it?
I'd make a motion to approve
I
it.
have a motion by Bob. I have a second. I have a second by Joe. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Is everybody
Jean?
camera shy or what?
Aye. That's high.
Do we have any old business to discuss? Nothing? Okay. We'll move on to new business. A request for a variance from the City of St. Genevieve zoning ordinance, section 405.150, height and area regulations, C1 general commercial district for the proposed construction project located at 634 St. Genevieve Drive. The applicant is requesting a variance from the front setback requirement of 25 feet in order to construct an addition to the existing building with a 10-foot front setback. We're talking about a variance of 15 feet. And this is the El Torero building.
Have you heard from any of the adjacent property owners?
I have not heard back from anyone except the fire chief did respond. And he didn't have an issue with it. He was just wondering what if we had an expansion of 61 with it. But it's not going to impede upon the state right-of-way.
So I went out there, there's a sidewalk or a drainage ditch that maybe is more the appropriate thing. So where is the measurement from? Is it from the curbing or is it from that drainage ditch?
In one of the sketches that you've got in your packet, you can see where the right-of-way line starts. It's kind of in the middle. The way we figured out where the property line would start was we took the middle of the street and measured back 40 feet because it's an 80-foot right-of-way. And from there, he measured back.
So you're kind of seeing like this drawing, this
Yes,
line
yes.
is where it is, so it's kind of, so there's even, what I want to say is there's more space, there's the extra 40 feet.
Well, not 40 feet, but there is
Extra footage there.
landscaping there that's on the state right-of-way.
So it's not like it's just going to be 10 feet off of the highway.
Correct.
Okay.
As far as MoDOT's concerned, though, is there no regulations as far as setback?
MoDOT controls their right-of-way. When they have plans to expand and kind of their long-term planning, they will do one of two things. They will either acquire the additional right-of-way years ahead of their anticipated expansion, or they will request of the local jurisdiction, in this case the city, the adoption of a corridor for a future expansion. And we're talking like 20-year plans.
Right.
And so neither of those have occurred. I think it's reasonable to conclude that MoDOT doesn't have any plans to expand the highway.
When I walked in and I seen a full set of working drawings here, that brought up a big question. They went to a lot of expense to do these drawings and stuff. I mean, are we here asking to fix an error?
Not really an error. The history of it is This project started, I think, last winter. It was several months ago. And when I spoke to the gentleman over the phone, he was asking about having patio seating on the exterior. And open patio seating is all right to do and impede upon a setback. When we later, several months later, got the plans, and I was reviewing the plans, I noticed that this wasn't just an open seating patio. It had a cover, it had a roof, and half-built walls, which is of course, of a different color.
Right.
And that's when I notified them that they would either need to redesign the plan or obtain a variance. And he went back to his people and came back later and said, well, go for the variance.
So that seems like a lot of time and expense put into designing that building, not knowing that they could build in that area. That I have a problem with. The other issue is, I don't know, that's pretty close to the highway. I was sitting down at the Rhodes gas station here not too long ago, and one of the local trucking firms nicknamed the Killer Bees. This guy went flying down the highway, ran the red light, just plowed through that intersection and stuff. You know, and you think about that, and you think about open seating that close to the roadway. I don't know, I have a real concern with that. But
I kind of agree with Bob on the public safety thing. If you look at McDonald's, I mean, it expands pretty far out to the front, 261, okay?
3 feet further than,
However, right there where El Torero is going to be, what do you have right across the street? Portis. You've got the intersection of Portis and 61, which to me, that might be a hair more dangerous than like what McDonald's is. It's just that intersection there at Portis and 61. That was one of the concerns that I had.
right?
Well, McDonald's, their play area has a wrought iron
Right.
tall fencing
Yes.
that would protect any little kids playing there. You know, if they lost control.
I don't know, this here, I mean, he has got, I mean, it looks
Right.
like
I
you've
have
got some
concerns.
concrete structure there.
Right. Well, you know, they talked about other businesses in the area, and I, like Joan, drove out by there a couple of times. They're saying that there's other, in their application, they're saying there's other businesses out there that are impeding on that 25-foot setback, and it mentions in here the 3-foot of McDonald's play area that sets out. I mean,
But that is open space, and it's allowable in the zoning code, because it's
Right.
not a covered
Right.
structure.
But as far as the others that they're talking about, I couldn't see any others that,
I couldn't either. I mean,
That
if
would
you
be
talk
good,
about,
too.
well, Deb says so, that little
It's way back.
planter island thing out there, you know, but I couldn't see anything. Now, maybe MG's might be, that's pretty close to the highway. That's the only one I seen. And then the little photo
I don't know if you have.
thing right there, but I mean, that was an existing building. It's been there for,
That was
yeah.
a home originally.
right.
we had nothing to do with either, you know,
Right.
MG's, we had nothing to do with.
And even-
Tasty Freeze.
Yeah.
the old
Well, there was
houses.
an expansion on the front of MG's, you know,
That
at
was
some
decades
point. That
ago,
was,
too.
right.
But even there, you have no outside sitting. They're gonna have to plow through the building
Yeah.
too. It's the outside sitting right there at the intersection of Portis and 61, but it does look like they do have some,
It
a
looks
little
like brick.
safety there, but how
Doesn't it
good?
look like brick columns with steel or something, bars?
That's what I was saying. It looks like
Now,
they've
what's
got
the
a
wall?
little something
It's
there, how
got
protected.
concrete foundation, wall, and footings.
Yeah, that's the foundation.
It's just the stem wall, the whole, what's the profile?
Doesn't really.
In case they can't see the map tonight.
Because on here, doesn't it look like
There you
there's
go.
problems with brick around them?
Would they still be the realm of enough
It
parking
looks like there's
places
brick
that we
on
said
part
we
of
can't
it,
go out
like
the
from
front,
here
do it on the
down,
side?
maybe?
This is just a frame wall here with some,
They could do that, yes, because there's this green strip here.
Done in
They
concrete?
have, the way it's figured out
Concrete
now,
here.
they do have a few more
Concrete
parking
foundation of
places
the-
than what's required.
That's the only concern I have is right there,
It's a heck
at
of a-
that intersection.
Foundation for a column in it, yes. Well, I guess it's holding up the way
I don't
it
know,
is.
it's safe out there.
yeah, it's a little clear. I don't know what section that is.
Kind of bothers me.
Checking the patio addition.
I think the impression I received was that they decided to go with this because it's the least expensive way to expand as opposed to going around the back or on the side and going out that way.
See, I was suggesting, why can't they, still have enough parking places? Why can't they go to the side?
They've got all kind of room in back.
Yes, they
Tons of-
do.
There's a whole planning area back there that's, what, 4 parking spaces wide?
And then
Well,
they're
the
going
loading
to be
zone at
deleting
3.
on that
Yeah.
one side, they're gonna have to park in there this way instead of this way, so they're gonna be.
That's why I brought up the point, when I seen these whole set of drawings, are we fixing a problem here that they didn't totally anticipate? Because, I mean, that's kind of that's not what the variance is supposed to be for. The variance is supposed to be for an unusual situation. I think there's a quote in here on it that tells you.
And this
Um,
is not,
I don't
because
think
they
it
have
is.
the land to even stay away from us. No question of variance.
General rule,
Yeah, right here, they're knocking out all this parking. So for their new drive-through, they're gonna have to park in out that way person.
As far as the number of parking spaces, is there some requirement
Yes, there's a
per
requirement.
seating?
Yeah.
This is the area I was talking about. This is just in a plan.
But Brenda said they
That
would
ain't
have
nothing,
more than enough. so-
Really? But if they would expand back here, you're gonna have a kitchen right in the middle.
Gonna have what?
The kitchen right in the
Well,
middle.
isn't part of the new plans some additional kitchen
Yeah, they're
now?
changing the whole restrooms, well, or,
It looked like this is, I don't know if they're just expanding the kitchen, but this looks like kitchen, or is that restroom? It's hard for an old person to see.
I believe there's a drink area there.
Oh, like a
in
bar?
the expansion.
Okay,
Well, you know, where
kitchen.
the station is where they go into. I believe that's what that
yeah, according to this drawing, they're expanding on 3 sides. You know, they're going, I don't know, it's kind of misconceiving. They're going 10 feet out the back, 5 feet out the front, and 9 feet out the side.
is. Yeah, and the sketch you're looking at is not accurate if you look at the widths and the lengths. It's not accurate to what they're actually doing.
And you're looking at the building sketch, page 1,
Yeah,
comparing it back to this.
right. So it's not really accurate to what they proposed.
So this is an addition out the side here also.
Okay, that's
This is
the
the
one that I
existing
was
building.
prior looking at.
Right.
Yeah, that's where this one
When,
is.
yeah, that's this one.
Right. Yeah, if
Well,
it was a
this is
matter of a
not
couple of feet,
exactly.
3, 4, 5 feet,
Don't you think part of it is they're just wanting to make it look less like a Taco Bell too? I mean, is that one of the reasons they're just expanding in the front instead of another area? 'Cause
But if the
they kind
plans
of
aren't
made mention
matching
of-
up, isn't that kind of questionable?
I believe the building sketch may have just been something they were working with as far as site plan and what they could do. I wouldn't put a lot of variance on the
yeah,
sketch.
because it doesn't really have any breakdown as far as the
Right.
site plan and stuff, but
We have a lot of detail here, though. I think it would,
you got sealed drawings there.
And the proposed drive-through is on the south side.
where it's originally at now.
Nope, here's the
Oh, no,
drive-throughs
what's
right
that?
here. Yeah, that would be on the south side. Is there a side?
And we did discuss some issues that I had with the exit there, with it coming so
Close
narrow.
to that curbing.
And you have a car that has to back up, or
This
a
is
car and
north.
leave, and then
This is
cars
really
coming
on the
around, and then you have a
west side.
drive-through all fuddling through there.
Here.
They're willing to cut back on that curb that's off of the highway to make the exit a little bit wider, so there won't be a bottleneck.
This one here.
Yeah.
So you're gonna project this building out that much further and stuff, and you've got a main intersection right there.
This may be them coming now.
Yeah, to here, right? So that ditch that I was talking, that drainage thing, is that like in through here? Is that where that is?
Yeah.
So how many parking spaces can they lose for the seating?
How many extra do they have on there? Did I write it on there?
You have 37, no, 44.
No, that's implied parking, this here.
That's where I park.
Well, it doesn't make a difference.
Yeah.
Employer,
Parking.
Right, they're just-
number of spots you have to have for the square footage that you have.
Okay. So there would be what, 44?
I wrote on there how many there are.
Yeah, 44.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Let's
put
see how
two
many.
over here.
Oh, I have to figure it out. It seems that I recall that there was probably 3 spaces over, so they had 3 extra spaces built in. It's per square footage of the building. That's a formula you use for parking.
Whether it's enclosed or not,
Right, it's occupant.
under, yeah.
So I'll move this back here and fix it in there.
Yeah, well, the functional purpose of these, at the
So
weight
there was
station
a lot in
and
the
the prep
paper.
station
Is
is to
that
get closer
normal
to
to
the
have
dining
that
room.
much stuff
Right.
in the paper?
Well, it looks like
Did
there's an
they
opening
put it
going
in
on
the
in here.
paper, or
What?
like the pictures
Oh,
and all of that
the
stuff?
pictures?
Yeah, there was a picture of, like, one of the finished, like this picture was in the
In the
Herald.
Herald? Well, that's just the
Yeah.
Herald chose to do that.
Oh, because I've had a lot of feedback from people in the community, and I mean, most people in general are really kind of excited about it. And I
Well,
was like, oh, it's not that
yeah,
easy.
you know, and
Do you know what I mean?
If they were here, they'd be talking about more sales tax and the benefit to the city and all those things. The question that would be raised, is that an
Right.
appropriate consideration for,
Right.
as a board? I mean,
Right.
It isn't. 15 feet out there is a long ways.
Well, I was wondering, I know how we talked about expanding in the back, but even if they would just kind of expand on both sides, would that give them enough room for cars to park?
Park and be able to get in and out fairly decently.
And then if they just wanted to spruce the front up and put some sort of fancier entranceway in that wouldn't take up that much room, I think that could be a feasible.
That one picture on here shows,
But would that
This is the
accommodate
existing
what they're
front of the
wanting to
building.
do with the amount of people they may wanna, I don't know.
no, this is not the front, this is,
That's the
the
side.
front's got something, yeah, real similar to that
That's probably part of the
existing building.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Have they spoke about a possible redesign?
We spoke about it maybe 3 months ago. But
So
they
you're
decided to go forward with, he didn't give me a reason of why they decided to go forward with a variance rather than a redesign. He did not explain that. But it was under consideration.
Because I agree with you, man, they went to quite a bit of expense.
Well, that's why I was wondering how it got that far, a preliminary drawing and then ask for the variance, or if this was an afterthought or a mistake. I don't think we're here to fix mistakes, or to make a variance just because someone made an error or error in judgment.
Well, I mean, if Brenda was under the assumption that it was open seating and no one explained that it wasn't, that's
Well, what
not
the real
really
stipulations
her.
are on open seating, but.
Yeah, but that's not really anyone's fault. It was just lack of information from the beginning.
And I did, as soon as I discovered this, I did get back with him, or try to get back with him, to let him know that there was an issue, et cetera. And I didn't hear from him for months. And I don't know if it was the architect I was trying to get in touch with, so I don't know if they changed architects or what the issue is there.
So do you think they're really coming?
I kind of doubt
Let's
it.
think it's 7 o'clock.
I know. His name's Greg, whoever it is. I haven't met Greg.
Greg Castorino?
Is he with El Ferrero?
He's the manager.
Manager.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that must be Greg.
Their son was in my Cub Scout den. That's how
I'm sorry?
Their son was in my Cub Scout den. That's how I know. We can leave that out of the paper.
I kind of highlighted a thing a previous board member emphasized to me a couple of times. To hear requests for variances for literal provisions of the zoning ordinance in issuance where strict enforcement of a zoning ordinance would cause undue hardship. And that's the part that was
The status of the law. Yeah.
due to circumstances unique to the individual property under consideration to grant such variances only when it demonstrated such action will be in keeping with the spirit and intent of the provisions. But
So really, there's nothing prohibiting them from putting some of that in the back.
Well, except kind of the functional and practicality of that, which is, I think, you pointed out, that you got seating behind your kitchen. I can see how that would be a difficult thing to do. Now, whether you could take half of this and put it down one side, I don't know.
There's a doorway, and
I don't know if this is intended to be the property boundary. Is this the property? I guess that's the property, yeah, that's the property boundary.
that's just,
Yeah.
yeah.
So if you took 8 feet that you were gonna put here, or here,
Well, this is 10 here, and they've got 2. No, it's 8 feet.
it's 18 feet. From here to here. 8 feet of that is this row of tables. So if you take this 8 feet and eliminate it,
Mm-hmm.
now you're probably at a point where you'd find it more palatable. I'm putting words in your mouth. I shouldn't do that. From what I heard.
Well, that's why I asked the question as far as redesign. I mean, I'm sure that's their decision where they go with it and stuff. If it's a go or a no-go out in front. Just a couple of issues. One, safety. 2, are we creating any type of a visual impairment? Anytime things don't line up, I mean, in the city limits of Farmington, your building can only be so far off it has to be so far off anything on Karsh has to be so far off the property line, period. No variances, nothing.
Well,
And,
yes, I mean, I think they could grant variances, but they've chosen to say no.
right.
But
Well, I mean, it's an aesthetics then, you know,
Yeah,
you're
your
trying
point
to
is-
line up everything, you're not giving anybody a visual
For the same,
advantage.
same reason we have setbacks.
Right. So other than the
Although in
McDonald's.
in this kind of, this land use pattern, I don't know how big a deal it is relative to the existing land uses now, maybe future considerations. Of course, the other kind of question no variance is considered to have precedential value. And the argument is that you grant it because of a unique set of circumstances that only apply to that piece of property.
Right, so what are our unique circumstances here? There is none. I mean, as I see it, we're looking at a design that was designed improperly. So do we vote without them here?
Do what?
Do we vote without them here?
You can vote, you can table, you can dismiss.
I said if they don't show up, that's what I think we ought to do. Table it and dismiss it.
Well, if you table it, you're not
argued our
necessarily
points.
dismissing it.
Yeah.
You either vote
Oh,
for approval or denial, or you table it. And table it generally has to do with the need for more information or investigation. Now, if that information is the applicant being here, I think that would be a legitimate thing for you to do.
It sounded like somebody came in, but again,
And maybe the people at
they.
the next meeting.
Oh, you have a
Oh, that's
got a 7 o'clock
right.
meeting, yeah.
That's right. But again, this was in the paper.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was it?
And I don't know, I don't get it. But they had to have
Well, it wasn't
known
necessarily
when
well,
this
but-
meeting is to start.
POA was advertised,
Yes,
not just posted.
right, it's advertised for 3 weeks.
Okay. So they had to have known what time the meeting was to
Oh, yes.
start. And there's
I've had a lot of
other
communication.
obligations by the city.
Because there was no
that's gotta be
time on
met,
here.
so-
Normally, there's a time on here. I almost came at 5 o'clock.
You would have been welcome.
Okay, I think what we have to do, just call it, table it and dismiss it. Possibly with the question that we need more information.
Or do you think we should just tell them we think that they should investigate a redesign and bring it back to us? Because I think that's what I'm hearing.
You know, if they come back with something and say we need a 3-foot or 4-foot variance, you know, I don't want to say it's dead now that we can't do something, because there might be something.
Because I think expansion is great.
Absolutely.
For anything
Well, yeah.
in the city, but,
If you've ever been out there on a Friday night and had to wait 30 minutes to get a seat,
Yeah.
and I don't go any place any more than I go here, so,
You know?
And they always do pretty well have business out there.
so,
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to squelch the whole plan, but I think a redesign would be a good option that, you know,
but if we dismiss it though, are we,
cutting it for good.
I'm not sure what a
Right.
dismissal is.
Right,
Do we
explain
tell
that to
them,
me, what a
Or
dismiss
do
is.
you tell them to
Either,
come up
if
with a
you
redesign?
vote against it, it doesn't keep them from
Suggestions
coming
we
back,
gave?
Right.
except that
You
it requires
can,
that
put
we
your
start the
motion
clock all over
in a
Right.
form of
So,
denying
tabling it-
the request for the setback.
again. Means that
With a
it carries over to your next
recommendation
meeting
that
without
design
extraordinary notice
setback
being
or,
run in the newspaper.
Whatever, or
Right.
on the other
But
side of the property.
if nobody
whatever,
showed up and these were
be
all
resubmitted, or strongly
contacted
recommended.
it, I think there's no issues,
However you
but,
want to put it.
And then you,
There's no issues, but I don't understand why representation
Okay,
wasn't here by
discuss
these.
anymore? Anything? Okay, I'm gonna make a motion.
No, you
that-
can make a motion, your chair,
or-
your chair, you can.
I'll make
make
a
a
Oh,
motion.
okay. I need somebody to.
I will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we deny the variance, but give them direction to do a redesign and bring it back to us. Does that make sense?
I
Is
have a
deny the
motion by
right.
Joan. Oh, go on.
No, it's fine.
I have
Is
a
deny
motion
the
by
right,
Joan.
or should it just be tabled?
Well, you can do either one.
Well, are we ever going to approve this plan?
I'd say no.
So I
but-
think we
The
could
effect,
deny.
the only
this
difference
plan.
between
Deny
denial
and
and tabling
redesign.
is whether we have to do
Bring up
the
this-
3-week notice for the next application that they would make.
Okay, I'll second the motion.
I have a
Well,
second by
there's an
Bob.
application fee.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any against?
Oh,
Pardon?
Any against? And then let's see.
Any opposed?
Opposed, yes. That's the right.
Yeah, there was.
I've already put my packet away. What's next?
That's it.
Oh, I think that's it.
Well,
Basically, we just have to say there's no new
Well-
business.
No new business. Do we have any new business? Old business?
Do we have any new business? No, we don't have anything else to discuss.
I make a motion to adjourn.
A motion for adjourn by Jean. Do I have a second? Second by Joan. All in favor?
Aye.